And really, so far, it seems like we don't even really disagree on that much. We see the agreement conditions differently, and I don't know.
Rob Van Dam!
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
All right. Typhoon 888. Thanks for the $10. He says thank you, RVD. So there you go.
Well, thank you, Typhon 888. I'm not sure what I did, but I appreciate you joining us and engaging in the convo.
Yes, thank you, Typhoon.
Feel free to hate on weed or CTE or anything like that. Hey, by the way, Mike, do you know much about CTE?
Just like what I read online. I know it's a much bigger conversation now. I know they're still like developing the technology on tracking it and how to understand how the brain works and everything. I know it's like very prevalent in American football or like the UFC. So I know some stuff about it. I'm not going to pretend to be like a doctor or anything, but I know it's quite serious.
What did you mean when you commented on that on the clip that we played at the beginning of the show when you said, I think you said that would be maybe a good defense for Raja?
Yeah, because he had a concussion beforehand, but there's no evidence to suggest right now that is the cause of his anger. It could just be that he has anger issues or that he's upset at people. And I didn't want to lean on the fact that it could be CTE when we don't actually know if it is. Because I know, like I said, whenever I read into it, the studies around it look very complicated, and it looks like the technology is not all the way there to understand it fully. So people that were saying, sorry.
Are you aware there's a big difference between like long-term concussion syndrome and CTE?
Yeah, I know there's a difference. I think my main thing is that
I don't think most people do, so I just was wondering.
Yeah, obviously it's a possibility. It's always going to be a possibility when it comes to the brain, but I didn't want to lean on the fact that it might be that, because then that kind of absolves him, because it's kind of like it was out of his hands. His brain's a little bit damaged, and it might be, but I think it's more likely that it's not this. That's not the case, but that's an assumption. Obviously, I'm not saying it's a fact.
Sure, yeah. Conversation.
Cool.
Maddie, thanks for the $2. Do we see the other titty, RPD?
I just met Mike, and that's embarrassing.
Yeah, right. That's Well, let's get to know each other a little bit better. Why don't we do that?
They think it's embarrassing fighting to have the right to have an opinion that's different than them. They think I should be embarrassed at that, but I'm only embarrassed at showing the second titty.
You don't want to show the second titty.
No. Embarrassing. Oh my God.
No. One titty's enough. You don't want to be a real slut, Rob. Gem the Dawn.
Throwing his career right in front of us.
Man. When he showed that titty, it ruined it. Gem the Dawn, thanks for the $2. Can't wait to see you wrestle again, Rob. Good insight.
Well, appreciate you saying good insight, Gem the Dawn. Katie was afraid that people weren't going to understand my perspective. And really, so far, it seems like we don't even really disagree on that much. We see the agreement conditions differently. And I don't know. I just suspect that from the start, this crazy dude was thinking he was going to get in an ass whooping, and everyone was okay with it. And they just told him more and more and got in his head, which I don't know. Are you going to differentiate that, Mike? Or is that basically kind of what happened? But I get that you say that you think the conditions were soft, that they were whole again, and that he was a snake and then took advantage of him, which obviously that's got to be a part of it too, I guess. But
yeah, I think that's ultimately what it comes down to for me, that there was a handshake, there was a sorry, and there was an acknowledgement. And then Stu's guard was basically down because Stu let him pick him up. There was no like pushback, because I guess in his mind he was like, we planned this, he's gonna get me back. Because
but you know, you're not saying that Raja couldn't like double leg and like pick him up, right?
No, like I think at the point where Raja picked him up was all fine. It's when he slammed him and then started laying in shot after shot. Like 27 shots is a bit excessive. You could have argued maybe he laid in 2 and then backed away, and it was like, oh, okay, I've made a mistake. But he was fully aware of what he was doing. So I think after the handshake and the acknowledgement, that's kind of where like all of the what ifs go out the window for me. It's just a case of you've done this guy wrong. It's like if we had an agreement, like I've come on this podcast now and we've spoken respectfully, and then I come off of the podcast and I just start trashing you, and everyone's like, but didn't you just sit there having a decent conversation? I would look snaky if I did that. So that's how I see it. I don't think you should act one way in front of somebody and then do something behind their back, which is what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I definitely get that and agree that maybe that is a deal, but it looks to me like there's never a point when they're shaking hands where and I'll watch it again too, but I didn't see a point where Roger was like happy. You know, he was, oh, dude, don't worry about it, man. No, I get it. I see how shit happens like that. No, big misunderstanding, bro. Cool. No, man. No, hey, looking forward to working with you in the ring. I didn't see that. What I saw was pouty face, and it's someone that was reluctantly shaking a hand in agreement, like I get to still get mine, right? And I just think from the beginning that he was psycho and is an animal and just, you know, had some crazy thoughts in his head that he was agreeing to. And thought, you know, he thought his girlfriend was saying, pick a hole, you know?
But Mike, that's basically what you think though too, right? Isn't it? Or am I mistaken?
Like I don't like Rob is right in saying that when he looked at Roger, he could see that he didn't mean it, because that is ultimately what happened. He didn't mean it. But my argument is that it's snaky behavior. And somebody in the chat said, does shaking hands or accepting an apology just suddenly absolve you of all negative emotions? And it doesn't. But that's why I was saying in the video that I do think that stoicism is lost on a lot of people these days, and they lean too much into emotion and they feel like they need to get theirs back rather than just realizing that there was an honest mistake here. It was a dumb mistake what Stu did. It was really stupid. Right. But just realizing that it's a silly mistake. I'm mad at him. Maybe take him aside and be like, look, yo, I'm not cool with you or whatever. I don't want to be a part of this. But he saw it as an opportunity. Like he said it on stream out of his own words that he was gonna hurt him. And he was very clear in saying that he knows it's not scripted, he knows it's not a work or whatever. So at that point for me, it's like you've gone too far, you've crossed the line. Obviously, like Rob said, you don't get to make the rules on how somebody responds, but I still get to judge you for how you respond to somebody. And I think what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Well said.
Yes, very well said.